guys, welcome back to the 17th episode of Continuously Refined. I'm Shayna,
And I'm Sicily.
and it's also 2025.
Yeah,
Happy
happy 2025,
freaking
everybody.
New Year. I'm really excited for today's episode. I think it's going to just be a really awesome overview of all of the health and wellness habits that Cicely and I incorporate into our day-to-day lives. And we get a lot of questions about this from friends, family, and I think it's just going to be a really good capstone overview of all of the things we do, and all of the things that we've done in the past and what we're bringing with us into 2025, what we're going to leave in 2024. And I think the new year and is a really good time to reset, to take time, think about those things, think about the things that you want to start doing and the things that you want to get rid of.
Yeah, I love the new year. Like, I think it's one of my favorite times, which, like, to an extent is unhealthy because I'm always just like, oh, what are literally all the things I can change about my life? But I think to an extent that's also really cool to like that everyone takes time to reflect on the past year and is like, oh, these things worked really well for me. These are things that I maybe don't want to do as much. Like, and so one of the things we want to talk about in this episode is like our ins and our outs. And I feel like that's something that like our friend group talks about a lot. And we don't necessarily do like a ton of resolutions. Like, normally I hate New Year's resolutions and I never do them
I'm
because I'm
so
like,
not a fan.
yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna fall short, like whatever. So last year, I instead like did like a word of my year. And so my resolution was like to really focus on grace, which I feel like I've talked about a lot on the podcast of like, oh, giving myself grace with 80/20 or with like these different things. And so that was like really cool. And then this year I'll talk about later, I kind of have like a different word, but I feel like 2024 for us was so pivotal in both of our like health journeys. And like we
Huge.
started the podcast in 2024, which has been just like so rewarding and cool. And I mean, I just feel like I've noticed such a difference in my life and in my hormones and my body. And like, is it perfect yet? No. Will it ever be perfect? Probably not. But I definitely think it's so much better than where I was a year ago. And I have such a different understanding of wellness and health, which I think has been so cool. And so, with that, we kind of want to talk about what some of our favorites from this past year have been.
Yeah, let's jump right into it. So, the first question that we're going to ask each other are the best health hack that you learned in 2024.
I think that my favorite health hack from the past year was putting using essential oils to start, but putting an eucalyptus essential oil on my feet, like mixing it with my lotion and putting it on the bottom of my feet when I start to feel sick or when I am sick. And I don't know if it's placebo effect or if it actually works, but I do know that it has helped so much. And we've talked about in our episodes about getting sick how the pores on the bottom of your feet are the biggest in your body. And so giving those that eucalyptus has just like super helped me when I've been getting sick. And I feel like normally I get sick a lot in the year. And knock on wood, I feel like 2024 was pretty good. So I'm gonna attribute it to that hack for sure. What about you?
I I love that one. My favorite health hack from 2024 is pretty broad, but I really learned the impact that eating good nutritious food had on my overall health and my overall body. I mean, I going into like 2024, I drastically changed the way that I was eating and what I was eating and putting into my body. And looking back on it, it had a huge impact on my overall health, the way that I feel, my skin, hair, nails, my gut, my menstrual cycle. And so I would say that my best health hack was focusing on good, whole, nutritious foods.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what was the best habit you started in 2024?
In 2024, I really prioritized sleep, and this was something that I'd never done before. And especially being in college, it was really, really hard to prioritize sleep. I mean, we had so many late night, I don't know, events, parties, going out, movie nights. Like we were always
Yeah.
doing things. And so learning and really starting to prioritize my sleep schedule, like getting on a schedule. I'm going to bed at
Mhm.
the same time every night. I'm waking up in the same morning at the same time every morning was a really big thing for me in 2024. How about you?
Awesome. I started doing detox baths this year, and I have kind of always been a big like bath person, but I had never heard of detox baths until this year, and most recently, like this semester, I think I started them in maybe August, and I'll take like one detox bath a week, and I just absolutely love them. They make me feel so much better. They make me sleep better. They just like really calm my body and help me to just prioritize like resetting and getting all the toxins out of my body. So those have been just my favorite. I'm so obsessed with them.
I might have to try it. I've never done it before.
You should. You have a
I'm gonna
bath at school. You could totally try it.
I could try. Okay. Maybe I'll add that to my in list of 2025.
There you go. What is the best thing that we learned overall?
So when I look back at 2024 and I think about like health and wellness changes, one thing that I really learned, and it took so much time, but it was like just asking questions. Like asking when I go to the grocery store, like, what is in this package of food? Or when I'd go see my doctor, like going, presenting my doctor with an issue, listening to what she had to say, asking questions back, and then doing my own medical research rather than just trusting like what society and doctors say. So I'd say in 2024 that was the biggest thing that I learned was asking questions.
Yeah, Shayna's really good about that. Like even when I'll go to my doctor and like come back and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm doing this and this." Shayna will be like, "Oh, well, why is he having you do that?" And I'm like, "That's a great point. I have no idea, but he told me to do it, so I'm gonna do it." Like, but
I
you're really
love
good about asking the questions.
Yeah, and this is something that like I love about our podcast is I don't ever want to like throw something on you and be like, you should do this. You should
Hmm.
eat and live this way. But I want to come with a like intention of learning and teaching. I want you to like I want to learn how our bodies work and then be able to teach people and see the effects that these things we do in life and the things we're eating and the way we're living. How does that like scientifically affect our bodies? And then
Yeah,
from there, everyone can go make their own decisions. And so I think that was one of the biggest things that I learned in 2024 was asking questions.
that's a
How
really
about you,
good one.
Cicely?
I think that mine was, it's been a more recent thing, and it's something that I definitely want to continue to focus on in 2025, but focusing on my nervous system and realizing just how closely that's tied to all of my health issues. I know that when we first started this podcast, like I think in episode 2, when I talk about my story, I talk about how anxiety is connected to my gut and vice versa. And so I think that I knew that, but I didn't realize how much like really looking into solving your nervous system and like prioritizing giving it the rest it needs, doing meditations, things like that. I never really realized how much that would impact my gut being better. Like I even noticed last week I was super anxious and my stomach was off like all week. And at the end of the week I was like, okay, wait, maybe this is because you've been really anxious about X, Y, and Z. And so the past 3 days I've meditated every day and I've really prioritized like slowing down and I've already noticed a difference. And it's like so crazy to me that
That's
I
incredible.
overlooked that for so long.
Yeah, it's incredible. I remember when we first started talking about it, probably in like October, and then you started making changes, and I could
Yeah.
just see like the impact that it had on your body. And so I think that's a really awesome one. And something that's not talked about enough is like the
Yeah.
nervous system, because it's not necessarily like a physical thing, but like you are really the only one who can feel that,
It's a
like in your
really
personal body.
easy one to overlook within wellness, I think. I think people talk a lot about your mental health and it's like, oh yeah, like don't be depressed, don't be anxious, whatever. But they don't really talk about like the physical aspect and the like scientific aspect that has on your body when
Hmm.
it comes to your nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I think that was a really good one to learn and something we can all definitely take pieces of it from. Kind of the last question that we had for each other was your favorite go-to meal in 2024.
Yeah, this is kind of a fun random one, but I think mine was salmon bowls. I feel like those are kind of everywhere, but you can make them by making them little bites or making like a full piece of salmon. But Kate and I were eating those at school like once a week. Like literally, I think almost every Monday we made a salmon bowl and they were just so amazing.
They're so
And
good and so good for
oh,
you.
they're so good. And I like literally crave them like all the time.
Hmm.
And then lately I've been really into bone broth hot chocolate has just been
Okay.
I know, sorry, touchy
Can we like
subject.
Cicely loves bone broth hot
It's
chocolate
so
and
good, guys.
no, I
Shayna,
tried to make it
I just
and
think you made it poorly.
it tasted like chocolate chicken noodle soup. Tell
Okay,
me who wants to eat chocolate chicken noodle
here's
soup.
the thing. We're gonna try it again,
Okay.
and we're gonna use beef bone broth,
I think that was the issue.
which I think will help. Um, and we're not gonna put almond milk with it. We're just gonna do bone broth
Okay.
and some cocoa powder and a little bit of coconut sugar and maple syrup. And I promise it's gonna be good. And we're gonna try it again on one of these cold days when we get back to Fort Worth.
Okay.
It'll be
You
great.
we'll try it. I don't know what bone broth hot chocolate you're drinking, but you must make it better
Like
than
I
I do.
literally made it today. It's so good.
Okay.
So yeah,
Well,
I've been obsessed with that, but Shayna had a bad experience when she made it, and so we're gonna get her to try it again. And if you guys have tried it, let us know and back me up that it's good.
give us tips on how to make it
And it doesn't count if you've tried the one Shayna made.
because that one was terrible.
Right.
Anyhow, my favorite meal from 2024 were sweet potato nachos. I
So good.
frequented this meal, and it was the easiest thing. You just slice up the sweet potatoes into really thin, kind of like circles, like chips, and then you'd crisp them in the oven, and you'd make your ground beef with taco sauce, taco seasoning, and then top all of it, all the toppings, all the goodies onto the sweet potatoes. You get your carbs, your proteins, the fats, add some bell peppers, avocado, salsa. It was delicious and so easy. So
It
that
is
was
such an easy one.
my favorite go-to meal.
That's awesome. That one's so good. I love that one.
Shall we jump into our ins and outs for
Yeah,
as
let's
we
do
enter
it.
into 2025?
Yeah, should we start with our outs or ins?
Yeah, I like that. Start always with the negatives. Get
Right?
the negatives out of here, and then
Yeah,
we can start to implement?
great. So let's start with some of our outs. So first out, seed oils.
Huge. I love it. I
Yeah,
mean, they're terrible for you. We know
so
that.
bad.
It is all over the media. I think this is one of like the first big waves
Yeah.
of like the current like health thing that society is really implementing. And the biggest thing with this out, I think, is just bringing awareness to what all seed oils are in because
Mm-hmm.
they are literally used in every single restaurant pretty much that you will ever go to get food,
Yeah.
as well as I wish I knew the percentage, but I would assume like 90% of packaged foods
Yeah.
use seed oils. So we're getting rid of them because of how inflammatory they are to our gut and to our bodies and the negative effects that it has on our overall health. As well, this kind of goes along with it is really one thing I am focusing on is decreasing processed and packaged foods and trying my hardest to get rid of it. Like if
Yeah.
I not eating it and they are so easy to turn to when you need a snack or you need a quick meal, but the additives and the extra sugar and oil that are in these processed and packaged foods are really really bad for you. So I'm getting rid
Yeah.
of them.
I was just telling Shane I really want to try. I would love to just like live like this, but it's not realistic in college and like where I'm at. But I really want to try a week when I get back to school where I don't eat any processed foods. Like we both don't eat a lot of processed foods, but like you were saying, like with snacks, they're really easy to grab to, or like granola bars, I'll like have a protein bar or getting tortillas. Like those are things that like I could make at home. Like I
Yeah.
don't need to buy, and then I know exactly what's going in them. I know there's no seed oils being used. So that's definitely something that I want to try just for a week and just kind of see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Another thing that we had talked about getting rid of was kind of an all or nothing mindset. I think a lot of times, and this is one of the big reasons that I don't like New Year's resolutions, is
Mm-hmm.
because like why do you have to wait to January 1st to make all of these
So true.
changes? And I think the people who have that type of mindset around making big lifestyle changes that you have to wait till January 1st, that's the reason that so many people fail. And I don't
Yeah.
want to start a resolution that I'm not going to be able to accomplish. So, getting rid of that all or nothing mindset. We have these ins and out lists, and we're going to try our hardest to do them
Mm-hmm.
and give ourselves that grace, like you said, and that 80/20 kind of lifestyle.
Yeah. I just saw probably an Instagram reel the other day about how everyone does like the 75 hard right
Mm.
after the new year starts. And if you're doing that, good for you. No hate on you for that. But I
Props
saw
to you
like,
if you can do it. It's really
yeah.
challenging.
But everyone was like, why don't we prioritize implementing habits that are realistic for us to continue long term? Because everyone
Forever.
does the 75 hard and then you celebrate by going and getting drunk right after or going and turning back to these old ways of habits because you're so proud of yourself for getting through it. But they're not realistic things to continue to do every single day. And so I was like, that's so true of like looking at things that are very much so achievable and like realistic for yourself.
That's a great perspective. I love that. I think the
Yeah.
75 hard is, yeah, just diets in general. I think it's,
Yeah.
like you said, that is just such a good perspective. Like, let's implement little things over time so we can maintain this healthy lifestyle for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. 100%. And even if that's like testing out different habits, like if you want to take parts of the 75 hard that are super appealing to you, test those out and see like, oh, I really liked doing X, Y, and Z workout like this many times a week. Like I'll implement that as a habit. Or I really liked drinking this much water and that made me feel really good. Like the things in the 75 hard aren't bad. And same thing with any fad or with any diet. They're not necessarily bad things. They're just not realistic, and they also don't work for every single person, which is something important to keep in mind with all of that stuff.
Very true.
So, another out that we have, this one I'm really bad at, but it's grabbing your phone in the mornings. We have talked about your cortisol levels and how going on your phone at night is so bad for you. And I've gotten so much better at that and not using my phone before I go to bed. But I'm terrible. The first thing I do in the morning is I wake up and go on my phone and I turn off my alarm. And I have an alarm clock both at home and at school. I don't need to use my phone, but I still always use my phone. And so that is a big goal of mine in 2025 is to not go on my phone first thing. And then maybe I'll actually get out of bed.
And kind of yeah, get out of bed, Cicely,
I
start the day.
I
Easier
used to be
said than
so
done.
good at that and then COVID hit and I like lay in bed for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Easier said than done. It's
Yeah,
okay.
that's
That's why
true.
it's an out. We're going to try our best. Kind of going off of that, something I really want to do is decrease my social media use. I do not need to be on my phone for 3 hours a day scrolling on Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
And there's so much more fulfilling things in this life. And we're so young, and our whole society is consumed around our phones and social media. And we're constantly worried about what other people are doing. And so, an out for me is really decreasing my social media use and in turn, the amount of time that I'll be on my phone.
Yeah, such a good one. Um, Kind of another one. I feel like this can go with social media sometimes, but an out of just like watching stress
Mm.
and not being as stressed, which again, so much easier said than done. But it kind of goes back to like prioritizing the nervous system and just slowing down and being calmer. But we don't need to be so stressed all the time. And I think that a lot of the things that we put stress on are things that don't need to be taking stress from us. And
Amen.
yeah.
Amen.
And so I think that that is a really good one to be cautious of and to call out your friends on. And if that's something you really want to prioritize, tell your friends, like, hey, I want to watch how stressed I am. And like, let your friends call you out on like, why is that thing stressing you out? Like, it shouldn't necessarily be stressing you out. So I think that that is a really good out, even though that is probably the easiest one that's said than done. But
It's a great one. And kind of our final out that we overarching decided on was getting rid of plastic water bottles. And there's a lot more studies now coming out on the negative impacts that plastic is having on our health, the way that it mimics the female's estrogen and significantly decreases male testosterone. Plastic is awful.
yeah,
And there are so many ways now that we can bring our own water bottles to the airport and fill them up without having to buy plastic water bottles. And this goes along too, I think, with plastic utensils, plastic plates, plastic Tupperware,
cutting boards.
plastic cutting boards, huge.
Hmm.
So that is a huge, huge out for us in 2025.
Yeah. My brother got me a wood cutting board for Christmas.
I got
I'm
one
so
for
excited.
Christmas too.
I think we got like the exact same stuff for Christmas.
Probably.
But I'm
Probably.
so excited to like learn how to take care of it. Like it's gonna be my little baby, my wood cutting
Okay.
board.
Maybe we'll make an episode about how to take care of your wood cutting boards.
Please.
Okay, let's jump into some of the ins, these new
Yeah.
and exciting things that we really want to implement in the new year.
Yeah, I can kick us off with the first one is for me prayer and gratitude. And this is something that I've already tried to be doing more over Christmas break. I feel like my Christmas break like started out really rough of like all these things I had planned in my head suddenly like weren't a thing in my life anymore or weren't the plan that I had going forward. And I really turned to prayer and I also really turned to gratitude and like trying to look at situations of like okay, I don't really love working here anymore, but I'm really grateful that I was able to come back over Christmas break and experience that so that I know that. And like turning the negative things into like, let's find like something that I'm grateful for in this. Like it kind of ties like my New Year's resolution, even though I don't really do resolutions, is to learn how to live in the present moment. And I really want like presence to be my word of the year.
Oh,
And
I love that.
I think it's such a good one for like we're graduating and like learning how to live in the present moment for the rest of senior year, but also once post grad starts of like we're constantly trying to achieve the next thing and like always
Hmm.
trying to get there and slowing down and being like, hey, this moment right now is really cool, I think is really awesome. And so I think I can really achieve that through gratitude. But I also am an anxious person and really suck at living in the present moment. So we'll see how well that goes for me.
It's gonna go great. And I cannot wait to walk alongside you in that because I want to do it as well. And we can encourage each other in that. And I think living a grateful life is so impactful.
Yeah. I
Just
mean, I
because,
think I've said this before on the podcast, but you can't be grateful and anxious at the same time. Like you
yeah,
can, your body can only feel one of them. And so it's just such an awesome one. And it just helps your nervous system so much more.
it does. Another in, this is a bigger one for Sicily, I think,
Yeah.
are castor oil packs, which is something that I have been doing for about the last year, really helping with liver detox. It's helped also with my menstrual cycles. So I love a castor oil pack.
I like didn't even know that you did them. Like you always, every time I get my period and I'm like, oh, I'm in pain, whatever. Shayna's like, Cicely, we need to get you on castor oil. Like we need to get you started on these. But I didn't know that you actually did them. So I am
Yes.
really glad because I have no idea where to start on them. But I really want to, and I am convinced it would solve all my problems.
I think it would help a lot of your problems.
Yeah.
And I think maybe we can do a whole episode about it. But I just get
Yeah.
mine on Amazon. It's a really great quality castor oil. So maybe we can like link it or make a whole episode
Perfect.
about the impacts that castor oil has on your overall health because it can be used for a lot of really great things, not just
That's
your
what I've
periods.
seen.
Yeah,
Now it's, of course, I liked one reel and now it's on like every single page of mine.
all you have. And I know the next in, kind of along the same lines, red light therapy. We
Yep.
both got red light face masks for Christmas,
Yeah.
and they are the best things ever. I have a red lamp in my room back at school. I love sitting in front of it right before I go to bed. It really mimics the sunlight and it like the sun setting, so it tells your body that it's time to get ready for bed. They also have amazing, amazing impacts on your skin. Again,
Hmm.
I think these are all kind of like sub things that we could make other episodes about,
Yeah.
and the all the impacts that red light has on your skin health as well.
Yeah, I've been using mine so far like every single night and I'm so obsessed with it. It also helps like prevent like you from getting sick, like it helps build your immune system some. There are literally so many benefits to it and it's so easy to do. Like I'm gonna sit in bed for 10 minutes before I go to bed anyway. I might as well use my red light.
Yeah, totally.
The next one is one that we kind of started to prioritize last year, but to eat more seasonal and local foods. I don't think I really discovered seasonal foods until that last year and how important it is for your body to focus on what foods are in season and to eat
Hmm.
those because that's what your body also needs during that season.
The nutrients, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the nutrients of a food when that season is occurring is so much greater to what your body needs during that season.
Yep.
And so I think it's something that we can prioritize. Um, I'm excited for that one and
Yeah,
really
and I
like
really think
learning too.
like we can do so much better with finding local foods. Like we even hear so many people at school be like, "Oh, there's like this or this," like or like once it gets warmer, the farmers market. Like I think
Yep.
we can do a good job with that too.
Yes, I cannot wait for that. A big in for me. is grass-fed and finished beef. And I think this is becoming a newer talked about thing. In the past years, like growing up, we're very used to just really big conventional meat. You know, you'd get whatever was in front of you at the grocery store. But the way that the cows are fed and enclosed with on a grain and soy-based diet, you can talk about the chickens as well with the pasteurized eggs. It significantly decreases the nutrients that are inside those foods. So when we talk about eating and we want to prioritize healthy, whole, nutritious food, that means getting your food in from somewhere where they're eating a diet that they're supposed to eat, where the cows are grazing out in the field on grass like they're supposed to. So that's a big one for me, grass fed and finished beef.
Yeah.
And then I need to do a better job of this, but I really want to start drinking solely reverse osmosis water. I do not yet have the machine to do it, but the grocery store that I shop at has reverse osmosis water and it's $30, I mean 30 cents. Whoa. 30 cents to fill up a gallon. And it's a little bit of a hassle to bring your
Yeah.
glass jars to the grocery store and fill them up, but I think it's a really good, healthy habit to start because of all of the gunk that is in our tap water and no filter. The filter in your refrigerator is not going to clean it out. Your Brita filter water is not going to clean it out. But I think I really want to start drinking fully reverse osmosis water.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Another in which I've talked about a couple times already, but just continuing to prioritize my nervous system and like making that a top priority because I truly think that like most of my stomach issues and a lot of my health issues will be so much better once I just continue to get a grasp on my nervous system and like understanding and learning that more. Another one that we've kind of done like and talked about before, but grounding I think is just like
Yeah.
so important and like getting out barefoot more. It sounds so silly, but our feet are meant to touch grass. As like funny as that is, and as much of a saying as that is of like, oh, I need to touch grass, like it's true. Like,
It's so good for you because that's how
yeah,
we were meant to live.
yep. And like it balances those pH levels, and I think that that's so important for everybody. And it's something that I want to get so much better at doing. And it's even better when you do it in the morning.
Yes, in the morning and in the evening when you wake up, first thing when you wake up and right, you know, when the sun is going down. Also with that grounding is the idea of sunshine. And I've been trying to prioritize over break, sitting in the sun if I can, for at least 30 minutes a day and letting the sunlight hit my skin. And I think both the sunshine and the grounding are a little more of like we think of hippie, wooey ideas, but they make you feel so good. And it
Yeah.
goes back to the nervous system. That's how we were supposed to live. We were supposed to live outside. And it really does impact your overall health when you're doing those things.
Yeah.
Another in I have is low impact strength training workouts and really focusing on that. I do a lot more cardio at the moment than I would like to do. And so I really want to focus on strength training. And if that is just a 15-pound dumbbell, I mean, I could do a full 45-minute workout with one pair of a 15-pound dumbbell. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, but really focusing on strength training.
Yeah.
I want to implement more walks outside. I love a walk. I
That's
count a
such a
walk
good one.
outside as a workout. If I am doing that 2 days a week and I can work out the other days, I am good to go. I love a
Yeah.
walk outside.
And that like is a great time to get that sunlight if you haven't yet. And we live in climates, well, you live in both climates, but I live in when we go back to school, a climate that's warmer. And so it's so awesome to be able to walk outside and like I just always feel so good after. And normally it's like spent in community with someone else, or it's spent by yourself listening to a podcast or listening to music, which are also like good mood boosters. And so walks outside are so amazing for all
Totally.
aspects.
And the last one, also like just prioritizing and making the best use of my time. I want to read more books. Like I had the out of decreasing social media and getting off my phone. I want to read more books. I want to go on more walks with friends and really living a fulfilling life. These are
Yeah.
all things that I think the space of health and wellness and really focusing a lot more on that has taught me that our
Yeah.
life is so precious and we have so many God-given things on this earth that we can utilize. And so I really want to implement that.
I love it. I think that's so awesome. And so as we move into 2025, we'll hold ourselves accountable for our ins and outs and continue to update you guys on how those are going for us. But feel free to share any of your ins and outs with us. If you guys are gonna implement any of these, implement them along with us and come on our journey in 2025 with us.
Woo
We have
woo!
a lot of fun episodes coming up, guests planned. And as always, if you guys have anything you really want us to talk more about us, DM us at Continuously Refined on Instagram. And we will talk to you guys again in 2 weeks for episode 18.
Can't wait. Thank you guys so much for listening. And we are so excited to conquer 2025 together.
Bye.
Bye.